Okay, so I did a quick search. I'm going to redo that search just to see if I get the same results. The internet's a very different world now that we have artificial intelligence. Because it used to be there were specialties and subsets, and you'd ask one person, and they think general knowledge about something. You might end up getting sent to somebody that had more specific knowledge. You may end up going to an expert, depending on the complexity of the problem. Even the experts may have all different ideas as to what is best. So let's see here. If I get the same result with this search. Electronics Vault, passenger side cabin. It's telling me F43. I'm pretty sure the one I checked before said F49. So we'll do that. We'll follow directions and check and see that that's just reflecting off the signals. So we'll put that like that. All this is I do have high functioning low spectrum autism. A lot of life is just being comfortable with the basics, things including like peeping and pooing and peeing. So every once in a while, you know, you got to change things out. Today I hope everybody's having some healthy bowel movements. And 13 times a day you get to have a little flatus, so that's normal. That's not odd. You're not going to I'm comfortable with and learn to walk around outside and burp about 30 times a day. So just learn to be a good human and not so uncomfortable with your most basic of bodily function. Okay. Now anxiety is a form of like your fuse circuitry getting amped up. Alright, because you do have neurological processes that require breathing and require energy and food, so you want to have a healthy diet. Don't engage in madness. Avoid it. A lot of people have entered madness and not come out. Some have entered and come back out of it. Normal life. That's kind of not going to be good. Right in there. You see it's F43, F49. Solve this problem. Save my focus. And this and this money. Some noises you just can't ever really get comfortable with. They shouldn't startle you. The handbook says a horn should very rarely be used. So I'm trying to pop back on because it will startle drivers. I'm going to get in here real tight so I can see it. Well, in this trucking industry, coupling is really loud sometimes, so that startles people. But it's safe. And startle and learn fear. This is for the boat. That's how it's going to be put. And that's it. I didn't realize before I used to fear. I came around there, I thought not to. To this area down here, and that would be the R, and those are two F's. A 30 and a 5 is what it looks like there. I don't think it's that one, because that's a little higher than what it looks like on the diagram. The diagram, bottom corner right, there's two there, a 30 and a 5. And a square fuse. They come here and look at it up now. Young men and young women included. Seriously. Alright. I'm going to use a standard issue. These are tongs. Get that thing out of there. So if we can fix it ourselves, so we save some time and some money. I don't know more about the time at this point. That won't work. Unfortunately, my needle nose pliers were taken by a mean police officer. He wanted to pretend like he was doing the public service. Lying, taking me to jail. Got out on my own recognizance because I didn't do anything wrong. I know what I was doing. Got this plier down there. So I got a backup pair, but I usually have that on me. I look at it like, well, maybe the Lord willed that to happen. So here's where I keep my tool. That rascal wanted to pretend like he's doing a job. He came up and touched my left back leg up the part on my buttocks. So I don't care who you are, you need to keep your hands to yourself. Even if you're a police officer, you have to ask questions when you get touching it. My parts are mine and your parts are yours. Mine are fancy fine. Keep calls touching on me like you're divine. So you're not God, so y'all can't just go around touching on people. But they do and act like they're lawful in doing it. Anyway, the point is I ain't got my standard tool with me. For a fool like him, it don't mean nothing. He never actually worked or accomplished much. He's just gone and policed. I'm for the police. It seems constitutional policing and protecting. Two very different things. What we have to learn is to be ignored, not strike out. When I say strike out, I mean hit people. The First Amendment rights, those are sacred. Many of these people purporting to be law enforcement, violating others' rights. Additional charge of assault and battery. You know, somebody assaulted somebody else with words, then they got punched. Those people today say assault, and they're talking about get hit. Assault. It's not actually what that means. Battery is when you touch somebody without doing a fight. That is so common. It doesn't even give you a choice that way. somebody bumps up against you at the store and line. Another toolbox stolen. 172 and some other thieves stole the other. That's the truth. That's not never look up. That's exactly what happened. Sadly enough, the other toolbox was stolen from the church where I was sleeping homeless. I came up and ran me off. I've been improving the place. And going every day to mass. Work. Leave those properties, church property and Johnny property. So I left my toolbox out when I was homeless, having a truck. Somebody stole it from the church. Ran off from that church, shut down Methodist Church. Too long after that, I still trying to get on my feet. And of course, you know that, like there's helping them, guns drawn and stuff. So what's the plan now? Hopefully not get guns drawn on me again. Run off of sacred property, but I was picking up trash with it, and I got all the trash picked up. Started doing some landscaping, set up a fountain. So I don't want to get run off, and I'm constitutionally legally existing and getting stolen from. I mean that not tongue in cheek, but direct. A lot of police do the stealing, and they pretend like they're actually helping. So civil forfeiture is theft, and that's what starts that ridiculous pattern. But I cannot find my pliers, and I dropped that set back there. Let's see, I might just have to bare-handed that baby. Fat fingers. There. Legitimately dropped right back behind there. And this is a situation now, I'm not kidding you. I had a Leatherman right here, and a bogus police officer with my knife took that from me. So for all you dirty cops who don't understand what you're doing to people, you keep disrupting their life and their system habitude. I had a habit of using that for work, and there you go pretending to be doing it good. And I legitimately, yeah, I admit the mistake. I dropped one little tool down there. The truth is, if that son of a gun hadn't done that, I'd have my tool. So I'm gonna do my best to see, because I really could pry it out with a pair of screwdriver, but couldn't get it back in there. So, no, don't have the tool. I'm gonna do my best to check the see. Yeah, trucking with contusion though. Sometimes you just get ill-equipped. 4 times we are equipped. Other people come in and plunder you and pretend like they've done the Constitution of good. Check this last spot. That officer, I say, damn you. See, that's how kind of Catholic I am. Damn your theft. Not maybe, but you ugly police officer who lied like the devil and put handcuffs on me. Then the sheriff's department let me out, who's got my 2 weapons in your custody and my Leatherman. Forget you for your stealing. Damn you for your theft. Not for your good intentions, and not for all the times you might have done some good, but for your theft. See, y'all keep screwing with me and think you're just messing with any Jimmy. I practice an eternal law. I put the damnation of God on your souls for disrupting my flow. See, I'm going to serve God, and if you keep working wickedness, and you do it to somebody like me, you're going to do it to other people too, right? And they probably don't have the integrity and the guts like I do, given by God, to stand up to me. So that lowlife with the Nashville Police Department is unlike the other officers. There's a legitimate officer named S-A-M-E, Officer Sane. See, before I went to that city, I met an officer intentionally. Went to ice cream cones and cops because I knew there'd be some little corrupt bully on there that acts like he's helping a little short, sawed-off, Napoleonic, Hitler-like guy. And sure enough, I ran into one. And I now don't have my tool to solve this problem of just checking to see if the fuse is the issue with my trailer. So you boys are actors. That's what Jesus called you. And I could rattle off a list of names of you bogus actors. But I support the local sheriff, you Nazi sons of the devil who steal and pretend to be law enforcement, whether it's ICE or municipal police. When you violate the Constitution and you enforce bad rules and you create false narratives, you are damning your own soul, you weak fools. And that's why it's funny. If y'all dress yourselves up, put masks on, ICE does. Cops dress yourself up and put all, put your big old belt on with your weapons and your big, I got a bulletproof vest. I'm gonna stand out here and intimidate people. And y'all intimidate people like that right there, who just walking around. I'm not saying all of you do it, but you know there's a bully spirit, and there are those who do. So, bless your soul. Truth is, I probably could have at least solved diagnostically what it may not have been until I pulled up fuse. So don't pretend like you do good law enforcement. A lot of y'all are just impairing commerce, invading people's civil rights, property, and hindering them from maintaining actual gainful employment and productive work. And then you get your ugly, sick, fake lawyers. Not the real ones. I know a whole bunch of good, real lawyers. But there's some fake people who pretend to be a lawyer and end up hurting the court system. Because if you can't be constitutional, you can't go in there and tell the truth. That's number one. And some of them are so sick in their head they cannot do that. Number two, you can't keep constitutional precepts that we have. Pop right back on there. Sometimes these are designed to break away and go back on from kids who don't have a dad. They're codified in different U.S. code sections. Do not kill. Do not have sex with somebody else's spouse if they're married. Do not steal. Do not bear false witness. It's different with big fish story. If you tell a big fish story and you take somebody else's trophy, that'd be false witness. You know, a little puff or exaggeration is acceptable in life. Sometimes the genre is just for storytelling. But you cannot be defrauding people and stealing their stuff. And unfortunately, our courts have become some of the worst in the world at enforcing the actual law. They are so efficient, unfortunately, at enforcing bad rules and setting dockets. So I would see some constitutional judges kick a bunch of stuff out and start holding these cops responsible. And they abuse the citizens and otherwise take their stuff. Some of you other police officers can self-police. You see a cop trying to steal, be dirty, or shoot somebody at the site, you have a duty to turn and arrest them. That's not lawful in the county. And I know unity. Go lecturing me on ministerial versus discretionary duties. So peace be with you, trucking with Trentissimo. My prayer is America returns to the Constitution. Because right now she's way too sick. Not for now. God loves you.